Have you ever found yourself staring at that important task, knowing it needs to get done, but somehow you just can't seem to start? That feeling of time slipping away, opportunities vanishing, and you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off? If so, you're not alone. Procrastination is a silent epidemic plaguing millions, stealing not just our time, but something far more valuable, our potential. But what if I told you that this inaction isn't just a character flaw, but a destructive habit with hidden costs you can't even imagine? Get ready to discover what procrastination is truly costing you and how Brian Tracy's perspective can change everything. Hello everyone, this is Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk about one of the biggest thieves of dreams, opportunities, and potential that exists: procrastination. It's a silent epidemic that affects the vast majority of people, from the student who puts off homework to the executive who pushes that crucial decision to tomorrow. But what truly lies behind this inaction? And what are the real costs it imposes on us, many of which remain invisible until it's too late? The reality of procrastination, more than just laziness. Many view procrastination as a simple sign of laziness or lack of discipline. However, this is a simplistic and often mistaken view. Procrastination is, in fact, a complex habit rooted in fears, insecurities, and thought patterns that we develop over time. It's the tendency to postpone important tasks in favor of more pleasant or less challenging activities, even when knowing that the delay will bring negative consequences. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself scrolling through social media feeds, watching a TV show, or organizing your desk for the 10th time when you should have been working on that urgent project? That's procrastination in action. It's not just a character flaw. It's a learned behavior that, if not combated, can become a vicious cycle, undermining your confidence and your ability to act. Brian Tracy's perspective: inaction as a destructive habit. In my view, inaction isn't just a mere lapse. It's a destructive habit with profound ramifications. It steals not only your time, but also your opportunities, your energy, and, most importantly, your unlimited potential. When you procrastinate, you're not just postponing the task, you're postponing your own success, your own happiness, and the achievement of your most ambitious goals. The key to understanding procrastination, according to Brian Tracy, lies in recognizing that it is a choice. Even if it feels automatic, at some level, you are choosing to delay, and that choice comes with a price. The good news is that if it's a learned habit, it can be unlearned. We can replace it with habits of action and productivity. The hidden cost of procrastination: what you really lose. Now, let's get to the hidden costs of procrastination. These are the impacts we often don't immediately perceive, but which accumulate over time, eroding our lives and well-being. The silent regret. This is perhaps the most painful cost. How many times have you looked back and thought, if only I had started sooner, if only I had seized that opportunity? Regret isn't just about what you did, but, crucially, about what you didn't do. It manifests as a heavy heart, a sense of lost opportunities that will never return. It's the pain of knowing you could have been, done, or had more, but inaction held you back. Irreversible lost opportunities. Life is a constant flow of opportunities. Some are small, others are monumental. Procrastination causes you to miss trains that only come once. That promotion, that new client, that innovative project, that chance to learn a new skill, all can slip through your fingers while you wait for the perfect moment that never arrives. Opportunities have an expiration date, and procrastination is the executioner that carries them out. Chronic stress and anxiety. Postponing tasks doesn't make them disappear. It merely pushes them into the future, where they accumulate and grow in size and urgency. This creates a vicious cycle of stress and anxiety. The pressure of tight deadlines, the guilt of not having started sooner, and the fear of failure create a toxic mental environment. Instead of feeling the satisfaction of a job well done, you live under the constant shadow of the uncompleted task, draining your energy and peace of mind. Personal and professional stagnation. Procrastination is the enemy of growth. If you constantly put off learning something new, seeking a challenge, or stepping out of your comfort zone, you will inevitably stagnate. In today's world, where change is the only constant, stagnation is the equivalent of moving backward. You lose the chance to develop new skills, expand your horizons, and become a better version of yourself, both personally and professionally. Loss of credibility and trust. When you procrastinate, you're not just harming yourself, you can also be harming your reputation, Constant delays, missed deadlines, and unfulfilled promises erode the trust others place in you. This can affect your personal relationships, your career, and your future opportunities. Furthermore, procrastination undermines your own self-confidence. Each time you delay and fail to deliver, your belief in your own capability diminishes. The cost of mental energy. Fighting procrastination consumes an enormous amount of mental energy. The constant internal battle between what you should do and what you want to do is exhausting. This energy could be directed towards creativity, problem solving, or task execution, but it's wasted in an unproductive cycle of guilt and postponement. Overcoming the epidemic, the path of action. The good news is that you don't have to be a victim of procrastination. The first step is to recognize these hidden costs and understand what you are truly losing. The second step is to develop the self-discipline and habits of action that Brian Tracy so strongly advocated. Remember the eat that frog rule. Start your day with the most difficult and important task. Break down large projects into small, manageable steps. Use the 80-20 rule to focus on what truly matters. And above all, just start. Action is the antidote to fear and inaction. Don't let procrastination steal your future. Take the reins of your time, your choices, and your potential. Success awaits those who act. The principle of immediate action. Why starting is everything. Hello again, this is Brian Tracy. And if in our last discussion we talked about the paralysis of procrastination and its hidden costs, today I want to introduce you to the most potent antidote, the master key to unlocking your potential and propelling your life forward. The principle of immediate action. Many people find themselves stuck in a cycle of inaction, waiting for the perfect motivation, the ideal moment, or divine inspiration to begin. But the truth, my friends, is that the biggest obstacle between you and your goals isn't a lack of skill, resources, or time. It's simply the first step, core concept. The biggest obstacle is the first step. Think about any big project, any ambitious goal, any significant change you want to make in your life. What usually seems the most daunting? It's not the middle of the journey, nor the end. It's the beginning. It's the blank canvas, the first line of code, the first page of the book, the first sales call. This initial barrier, this resistance to starting, is what prevents most people from even trying. The core concept of the principle of immediate action is radically simple, yet profoundly powerful. The act of starting, by itself, is the catalyst for all subsequent progress. Inertia is a powerful force, both for keeping things still and for keeping them in motion. The challenge is to break the inertia of inaction. Brian Tracy's perspective, eat that frog, and the inertia of action. In my philosophy, motivation rarely precedes action. Most of the time, it follows it. You don't wait to feel motivated to start. You start, and the motivation emerges. That's why one of my most famous principles is eat that frog. What does this mean? It means that right at the beginning of your day, you should identify the most difficult, most important, and most unpleasant task on your list, your frog, and do it first. Without hesitation, without delay, just start and complete it. Why eat that frog? Breaks inertia. By confronting and overcoming the most challenging task right away, you break the inertia of procrastination. You prove to yourself that you are capable of acting. Generates momentum. Completing a difficult task creates a sense of accomplishment and positive momentum that propels you through the rest of the day. Subsequent tasks seem easier. Reduces stress. The most difficult task is often the one that weighs most heavily on your mind. By eliminating it, you release an enormous amount of mental energy and reduce stress and anxiety. Increases productivity. You ensure that the most important work gets done, regardless of what happens afterward. Inertia, just like in physics, is broken by action. Not by reflection, not by excessive preparation, not by waiting. It's by action. With every small step you take, you build a bridge over the chasm of inaction. Focus, the psychology behind just starting and how it generates momentum. There's a fascinating psychology behind the simple act of just starting, overcoming initial resistance. The human mind is programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Difficult or unpleasant tasks are perceived as painful, and the mind tries to protect us from them through procrastination. However, the pain of starting is almost always less than the pain of delaying. By taking the first step, you challenge this perception and prove that the task is manageable. The power of the small step. Large tasks can be overwhelming. The solution? Break them down into pieces so small they seem insignificant. Instead of write a book, think write the first sentence. Instead of clean the house, think clean one shelf. The act of completing a small step creates a sense of progress, releasing dopamine in the brain, which reinforces the behavior and encourages us to continue. Building momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that carries you forward. Once you start and complete a small part of a task, it's much easier to keep going. It's like pushing a rock uphill. The initial effort is the greatest, but once it starts rolling, gravity itself, or, in this case, psychological momentum, helps keep it moving. Each small victory fuels the next, creating a virtuous cycle of productivity. Increasing self-confidence. Every time you act and complete a task that once seemed daunting, your self-confidence grows. You begin to believe more in your ability to achieve. This belief becomes a powerful engine for future actions, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of success, ending analysis paralysis. Often, we get stuck in analysis paralysis, overthinking, overplanning, but never acting. The principle of immediate action pulls us out of this cycle. It reminds us that the imperfection of action is always superior to the perfection of inaction. You can adjust course, correct mistakes, but only after you've started. The path to action mastery. To master the principle of immediate action, you need to cultivate the self-discipline to start, even when you don't feel like it. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do it immediately. Create an environment that favors action, eliminating distractions. And, above all, remember, success doesn't wait for you. It's built, one step at a time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Act, start, and watch how your life transforms. Central methodology. The need for clarity to direct action. The fundamental principle here is simple. Clarity is power. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. And you certainly cannot take effective action if you don't know precisely what you're aiming for. Vague desires lead to vague efforts, which inevitably lead to vague results or no results at all. Think about it. If you were planning a trip across the country, would you just get in your car and start driving, hoping to arrive at your destination? Of course not. You'd consult a map, plan your route, identify your stops, and set a clear destination. Your life and your ambitions deserve the same level of precision. The need for clarity isn't just about knowing what you want. It's about understanding why you want it, how you'll get it, and when you expect to achieve it. This level of detail transforms a mere wish into a concrete objective, providing the necessary direction for all your efforts. Without this clarity, even the most enthusiastic action can be misdirected, leading to wasted energy and frustration. Brian Tracy's perspective. The SMART goal technique is a guide for daily action. In my work, I found that the most effective way to bring this clarity to your goals is through a powerful and widely adopted methodology, SMART goals. This acronym stands for S, specific. Your goal must be clear and well-defined. Instead of I want to be rich, ask, how much money do I want to earn? By when? What will I do with it? The more specific you are, the easier it is to visualize and plan. A specific goal answers the who, what, where, when, why, and which questions. M, measurable. How will you know when you've achieved your goal? Your goal needs concrete criteria for measuring progress. If it's a financial goal, it's a specific number. If it's a fitness goal, it's a weight, a distance, or a time. Measurable goals allow you to track your progress, stay motivated, and know exactly when you've succeeded. A, achievable or attainable. While it's good to dream big, your goals must be realistic and within your reach, given your resources, skills, and time. This doesn't mean they should be easy, but they should be challenging yet possible. Setting unachievable goals can lead to discouragement and giving up. Assess your capabilities and resources honestly. Are relevant. Your goals should matter to you. It should align with your values, your long-term vision, and your other life objectives. Is this goal truly important to you? Does it fit into your larger life plan? A relevant goal provides the intrinsic motivation needed to persevere through challenges. T, time-bound. Every goal needs a deadline. Without a specific time frame, there's no urgency, and procrastination can easily creep back in. A deadline creates a sense of accountability and helps you prioritize your actions. Break down long-term deadlines into shorter, intermediate ones to maintain momentum. By applying the SMART criteria, you transform vague desires into a precise blueprint for action. These aren't just abstract concepts. They become your daily guide. Each morning, you know exactly what steps you need to take because your goals are so clearly defined. This methodology empowers you to move from wishing to doing, making your aspiration tangible and actionable. Focus, transforming vague dreams into concrete, manageable steps. True magic of defining SMART goals lies in its ability to bridge the gap between abstract dreams and concrete reality. It's about taking that grand vision you hold in your mind and breaking it down into a series of manageable, bite-sized steps that you can execute daily. From dream to blueprint, a dream is a beautiful idea. A SMART goal is a blueprint for building that idea. It forces you to think through the details, anticipate challenges, and identify the resources you'll need. This process alone often reveals insights you wouldn't have gained by simply wishing, creating a clear path. Once your goals are SMART, the path forward becomes clearer. You can then reverse engineer the process, start from your deadline and work backward, identifying all the smaller tasks and milestones that need to be completed along the way. This creates a step-by-step action plan, empowering daily action with a clear plan derived from your SMART goals. Your daily actions become purposeful. Instead of wondering what to do, you consult your plan. Each completed step, no matter how small, moves you closer to your ultimate objective, building momentum and confidence. This eliminates the paralysis of choice and replaces it with focused execution, maintaining focus and overcoming distractions in a world full of distractions. Clearly defined goals act as a powerful filter. When new opportunities or demands arise, you can quickly assess if they align with your goals. If they don't, it's easier to say no and stay focused on what truly matters. Building self-discipline and accountability, the process of setting and pursuing SMART goals inherently builds self-discipline. You commit to a specific outcome by a specific time, and this commitment fosters a sense of accountability to yourself. Regularly reviewing your progress against your measurable goals reinforces this discipline. The power of written goals. Finally, remember this crucial point. A goal not written down is merely a wish. The act of writing your goals down, making them visible, and reviewing them regularly imprints them deeper into your subconscious mind. It activates your reticular activating system, making you more aware of opportunities and resources that can help you achieve them. So, take the time, sit down, define your goals using the SMART framework, write them down, review them daily, and watch as your vague dreams transform into a tangible reality, one clear, actionable step at a time. This is your map to action, and it's waiting for you to draw it. Often, the resistance to starting a task doesn't come from its actual complexity, but from the perception that it's a burden, even if a small one. The mind tends to group all undone tasks into one large cloud of pending items, which can be overwhelming. This is where the 2-minute rule comes into play, disarming that resistance with brilliant simplicity. Practical tool, introducing a simple technique to overcome resistance. The 2-minute rule is one of the most straightforward and powerful techniques for combating procrastination and building a habit of action. Its premise is incredibly simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. That's it. No overthinking, no delaying, no putting it on the later list. Just do it. Think about all the small things you put off throughout the day. Answering a quick email, washing a cup, putting an item back in its place, making a brief phone call, jotting down an idea, organizing a small file. Each of these tasks by itself isn't significant, but when they accumulate, they become a source of stress and an invisible barrier to larger tasks. The 2-minute rule is your Swiss Army knife for cutting through these small barriers before they become mountains. Brian Tracy's perspective. Doing it immediately to create a habit of action. In my experience, the key to lasting success isn't in isolated grand achievements, but in the consistency of small actions. The 2-minute rule is the embodiment of this philosophy. It's not just about saving time. It's about reprogramming your brain for action, preventing accumulation. The biggest danger of small tasks is that they pile up. One cup in the sink turns into a stack of dishes. An unanswered email turns into a cluttered inbox. A small item out of place turns into a general mess. Each of these small pending items consumes a fraction of your mental energy, creating background noise that makes it harder to focus on larger, more important tasks. By applying the 2-minute rule, you prevent these small seeds of procrastination from germinating and turning into large weeds. In your life, creating a habit of action every time you apply the 2-minute rule and complete a task, you reinforce a positive cycle. You send a signal to your brain that starting and finishing is easy and rewarding. This builds a muscle of self-discipline and a habit of action. Over time, you become a person who naturally acts rather than delays. Inaction becomes the exception, not the rule. Increasing self-confidence. Every small task completed is a small victory, and every victory, no matter how minor, boosts your self-confidence and your belief in your own ability to achieve. This confidence spills over into larger tasks, making them less intimidating. You begin to see yourself as effective and productive. Focus, small actions that yield big results and break the procrastination cycle. The power of the 2-minute rule lies in its ability to create a ripple effect, the snowball effect. Starting with a small task and completing it creates momentum. This momentum makes it easier to move on to the next task, and then the next. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, gaining size and speed with each turn. Small victories add up, creating unstoppable momentum that drives you to tackle bigger challenges. Reducing cognitive load. The human mind has a limited capacity to hold information and pending items. Every uncompleted task occupies a small space in your mind, creating a cognitive load that drains your energy and makes concentration difficult. By quickly eliminating 2-minute tasks, you free up this mental capacity, allowing you to focus with more clarity and energy on priorities. Transforming your environment. The 2-minute rule doesn't just apply to digital or work tasks. It's fantastic for organizing your physical environment, putting keys in their place, cleaning up a spill immediately, making your bed. These small actions not only make your space more pleasant, but also create an environment that fosters productivity and mental clarity. An organized environment reflects an organized mind. Demystifying starting. For many, starting is the hardest part. The 2-minute rule demystifies this. It shows that starting doesn't have to be a big event. It can be something so simple and quick that you barely notice it. This lowers the psychological barrier to initiating any task, big or small. Implementing the 2-minute rule in your life. To integrate the 2-minute rule into your routine, start paying attention to the small tasks that arise throughout your day. Instead of thinking I'll do that later, ask yourself, does this take less than 2 minutes? If the answer is yes, do it immediately. Be aware. The first step is awareness. Notice when you're about to put off something small. Act without overthinking. The beauty of the rule is that it eliminates the need to deliberate. If it's quick, do it. Celebrate small victories. Acknowledge progress. Every completed task is a step forward. Don't underestimate the power of these small actions. They are the bricks with which you build a life of high productivity and success. The 2-minute rule isn't just a technique. It's a philosophy of life that empowers you to act, build momentum, and transform your reality. One small victory at a time. The power of consistency, daily action as an unbreakable habit. Many people have great ideas, set ambitious goals, and even start with contagious enthusiasm. However, what separates those who achieve success from those who fall by the wayside isn't intelligence, luck, or resources. It's the ability to maintain action day after day, even when the initial motivation wanes. Success is not a single event. It's the cumulative result of small, consistent actions. Habit development. Action is not an event, but a continuous process. Think of action not as a switch you occasionally flip on and off, but as a muscle you exercise daily. If you go to the gym once a month, you'll see few results. But if you exercise consistently, even for a short time, the results will come. The same applies to every area of your life. Action, to be effective, needs to be a continuous process, a constant flow of directed effort. It's easy to have one productive day. The challenge, and the true measure of your potential, is to have a productive week, a productive month, a productive year. This is only possible through the development of habits of action. Our minds and bodies are habit machines. We become what we repeatedly do. If you repeatedly delay, you become a procrastinator. If you repeatedly act, you become a person of action. The good news is that you have the power to choose which habits you will cultivate. And the most powerful habit you can develop is that of consistent action. Brian Tracy's perspective, how daily repetition builds discipline and leads to exponential results. In my philosophy, daily repetition is the master key to building discipline and achieving exponential results. Do not underestimate the power of little and often. The accumulation rule. Every small action you take, every task you complete, every step you take towards your goal is not an isolated event. It's a brick you lay in the construction of your success. In the beginning, it may seem that progress is slow, almost imperceptible. But with daily repetition, these bricks accumulate, and suddenly you have a solid structure, visible progress, and unstoppable momentum. It's the compound effect in action. Building discipline. Discipline is not something you are born with. It's something you build. And the best way to build it is through the consistent repetition of actions that move you towards your goals, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you choose to act instead of delay, you strengthen your self-discipline muscle. Over time, what once required conscious, painful effort becomes automatic, second nature. Exponential results. The true power of consistency lies in its ability to generate exponential results. Think of an investment. Small, regular deposits over time with compound interest can lead to substantial wealth. Similarly, small, consistent actions, learning a new skill for 30 minutes a day, making 10 sales calls every day, writing 500 words daily can lead to mastery, growth, and success that would be impossible to achieve with sporadic efforts. Growth is not linear. It accelerates with consistency. Overcoming lack of motivation. There will be days when you lack motivation. It's inevitable. On those days, consistency is what saves you. If action has become a habit, you act even without feeling the initial fire. Discipline carries you forward, and often motivation returns after you've started acting, not before. Focus. The importance of turning action into an unbreakable habit. Turning action into an unbreakable habit is the ultimate goal for anyone seeking lasting success. The automation of success. When action becomes a habit, it becomes automatic. You no longer need to expend mental energy deciding whether to do something. You simply do it. This frees your mind from more complex and creative tasks and ensures that progress continues, even on days of low energy or motivation. The creation of powerful routines. Consistent habits are the foundation of powerful routines. A morning routine that includes eating the frog, reviewing your SMART goals, and applying the 2-minute rule, for example, can set the tone for a highly productive day. These routines become your rails for success, keeping you on track. The building of identity. Over time, consistent action not only changes what you do, but who you are. You stop being someone who tries to be productive and become someone who is productive. Your identity aligns with your habits, and this creates a virtuous cycle where your habits reinforce your identity, and your identity reinforces your habits. Resilience and persistence. Consistency builds resilience. When you face setbacks or failures, the habit of acting helps you recover more quickly. You understand that one bad day doesn't negate weeks or months of consistent effort. Persistence becomes an intrinsic characteristic, cultivating consistency in your life. To cultivate the power of consistency, start small and be relentless. Start with one small habit. Choose a single action that you know will move you towards your goal, and commit to doing it every day without fail. It could be something as simple as reading 10 pages, exercising for 10 minutes, or working on your main project for 15 minutes. Create triggers. Associate your new habit with an existing trigger in your routine. For example, after I drink my coffee, I will work on my project for 15 minutes. Track your progress. Use a calendar or an app to mark each day you were consistent. Seeing a streak of completed days is incredibly motivating. Don't break the chain. Try not to break your streak. If you miss a day, get back on track immediately the next day. The goal is not perfection, but persistence. Remember, success is not about what you do occasionally, but about what you do consistently. Make action your strongest habit, and you will unlock unlimited power to achieve everything you desire. Overcoming fear and perfection. Imperfect action is better than inaction. Many people, even with the best intentions and plans, find themselves trapped in a cycle of inaction, not for lack of will, but due to an insidious combination of fear and an unrealistic desire for everything to be flawless from the start. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect skill, the perfect plan, and while they wait, life passes by, opportunities vanish, and dreams remain just dreams. Mental barriers. Addressing the enemies of action, the fear of failure, and the pursuit of perfection. These two mental barriers are like invisible guardians that prevent us from taking the first step or from continuing. When things get tough, the fear of failure. This is one of the most universal and paralyzing fears. Nobody likes to fail. The idea of making a mistake, being criticized, or not meeting expectations, whether our own or others, can be so overwhelming. that it leads us to do nothing at all. We prefer the safety of inaction to the uncertainty of an attempt that might not succeed. The fear of failure convinces us that it's better not to try than to try and fail. It keeps us in our comfort zone, which, ironically, is where most dreams die. The pursuit of perfection. This is a more subtle enemy, often disguised as a virtue. Perfectionism tells us that unless something is absolutely impeccable, it's not worth doing or showing to the world. It leads us to spend excessive time on insignificant details, to delay launching a project until it is ready, which never happens, or to redo work repeatedly. The pursuit of perfection is, in fact, a sophisticated form of procrastination, where the fear of not being good enough prevents us from being good enough. Both barriers share a common root, an aversion to risk and imperfection. They lead us to believe that we must have all the answers before we start, that we must be masters before we are apprentices. But this is a dangerous trap. Brian Tracy's perspective: done is better than perfect, and learning through execution. In my philosophy, the liberating truth is this: done is better than perfect. This phrase is not an excuse for mediocrity, but a battle cry against paralysis. It's a reminder that real progress only happens through action, not by waiting for perfection. The myth of initial perfection: nobody starts perfect. Think of any successful person you admire, an athlete, an artist, an entrepreneur. They started with imperfections, with mistakes, with clumsy attempts. It was through repetition, practice, and course correction that they achieved mastery. Perfection is a destination, not a starting point. Waiting for perfection is waiting for something that doesn't exist at the beginning of any journey. Learning happens in execution, not in waiting. Theory is important, but true learning and growth happen in practice. You don't learn to swim by reading a book about swimming. You learn by getting in the water. You don't learn to be an entrepreneur by reading about business. You learn by launching a product, making a sale, dealing with a customer. Every attempt, every mistake, every adjustment is a valuable lesson that cannot be gained in the safety of inaction. Execution is your greatest teacher. Imperfect action generates feedback. Imperfect action, however flawed, generates feedback. This feedback is gold. It shows what worked, what didn't work, and what needs to be adjusted. Without action, there's no feedback, no learning, no progress. It's like a scientist who refuses to conduct experiments until they are sure of the outcome. They will never discover anything. Breaking the cycle of fear by acting. Even with fear, you prove to yourself that you are capable of facing uncertainty. Every small, imperfect action you take and survive, you always survive, weakens the power of fear over you. You begin to realize that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone on the path to success. Focus, encouraging action even with uncertainties, understanding that mistakes are part of the process. The goal is to cultivate an action-first mindset, where execution is prioritized over hesitation. Adopt an experimentation mindset. View every new task or project as an experiment. You are testing a hypothesis. If it doesn't work perfectly, you learn, adjust, and try again. This mindset takes the pressure off having to get it right the first time and encourages exploration. Start small and fast. Don't try to create a masterpiece right away. Start with a draft, a prototype, a minimum viable version. The goal is to get the idea out of your head and into the world as quickly as possible. Remember the 2-minute rule. If something can be done quickly, do it. Embrace imperfection as part of the process. Understand that mistakes and failures are not signs of incompetence, but inevitable and valuable parts of the learning and growth process. Every error is an opportunity to refine your approach, strengthen your skills, and move closer to success. The greatest successes are often built upon a foundation of countless learned failures. Focus on progress, not perfection. Shift your focus from being perfect to making progress. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Progress, not perfection, is what generates momentum and keeps you motivated in the long run. Seek early feedback. Don't wait until your work is perfect to show it. Share early versions, ask for feedback, and use it to improve. This not only accelerates the learning process, but also helps overcome the fear of judgment. As you are actively seeking improvement, the path to action freedom, overcoming fear, and the pursuit of perfection is an act of liberation. It's the permission to be human, to learn, to grow, and to, finally, realize your potential. Don't wait for perfection. It's a mirage that will keep you paralyzed. Instead, embrace imperfect action. Start now, with what you have, where you are. Mistakes will come, but with them will come learning, progress, and eventually, the success you so deeply desire. Act, learn, adapt, repeat. That is the formula for success. Now, I want you to look to the future. I want you to imagine the life you wish to build, the impact you want to make, the legacy you want to leave. All of this, my friends, is not a distant dream. It is an achievable reality forged by a single, powerful element: unpostponable action. Conclusion and impact, summarizing the benefits of adopting unpostponable action. Throughout our conversations, we've seen that inaction is a silent thief, stealing time, opportunities, and, above all, your unlimited potential. But we've also discovered that the antidote is simple, though it requires discipline, action. When you adopt unpostponable action as your way of life, the benefits are profound and transformative. Freedom from stress and anxiety. You free yourself from the mental burden of pending tasks. That constant weight of "I should have done that" disappears, replaced by the lightness of accomplishment. Increased productivity and efficiency. You not only do more, but you do what is most important. Your priorities align with your actions, and you see real, tangible progress toward your goals. Accelerated personal and professional growth. Every action is a learning opportunity. You develop new skills, expand your knowledge, and become more competent in everything you do. Building unwavering self-confidence. Every goal achieved, every task completed, every challenge overcome through action reinforces your belief in yourself. You become a person who trusts in your ability to achieve. Discovery of opportunities. Action opens doors. By being in motion, you position yourself to recognize and seize opportunities that inaction would never reveal. Realization of dreams and aspiration. What once seemed impossible becomes a series of manageable steps. You see your dreams materialize, one by one, through the power of your own initiative. Unpostponable action is not just a technique. It's a philosophy of life that empowers you to take full control of your destiny. Brian Tracy's perspective. How consistent and disciplined action is the true key to personal and professional fulfillment. In my view, success is not an accident. It is the direct result of a series of deliberate choices and actions. Consistent and disciplined action is the true key to fulfillment in all areas of your life. Discipline as freedom. Many view discipline as a restriction, but I see it as the greatest form of freedom. The discipline of acting consistently frees you from the tyranny of procrastination, fear, and doubt. It gives you the power to choose your own path and to shape your own future. The power of habit. Remember, you are creatures of habit. By turning action into an unbreakable habit, through clear goals, the 2-minute rule, eating the frog, and daily consistency, you automate success. You build a routine that propels you forward, even on days when motivation is low. Building a legacy of success. What you do today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow doesn't just affect your present. It shapes your future and the legacy you will leave. Every consistent action is an investment in your future self, in your family, in your career, in your community. You are building a life of purpose, fulfillment, and lasting impact. That is the true legacy of action. Focus, inspiring the viewer to apply these principles and see the transformation in their own life. My greatest hope is that these words are not just information, but a catalyst for change in your life. Start now. Where you are, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Choose one of the principles we've discussed, whether it's setting a smart goal, eating the frog, or applying the 2-minute rule, and start applying it today. Be patient, but persistent. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. There will be challenges, setbacks, and days when you feel unmotivated. In those moments, remember the power of consistency. Revisit your principles, take the next small step, and keep moving forward. Visualize your success. Keep the image of the life you wish to build vividly in your mind. Let that vision be your guide and your inspiration, fueling your discipline and your determination. Act, learn, adapt, repeat. This is the formula for success. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are your greatest teachers. Embrace imperfect action, learn from every experience, and adapt your approach as you go. The life you desire is waiting for you. It won't come to you. You must go to it. And the only way to achieve it is through action. So, what will be your first step? What will you do today to start building your legacy of action? The choice is yours. Will you let your potential remain untapped? Or will you seize the opportunity to build the extraordinary life you're capable of? If you're ready to stop waiting and start creating your future, then don't just watch. Become a part of our community of action takers. By clicking that subscribe button right now, your journey to lasting success begins with this single, powerful step.